Live from Costa Mesa, California, this is your Namaste today. Good morning, my friend, and Namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today in the Zodiac weather. My name is Witecki. I call myself the Sensei to Sirius joy. My mission is to stand in my heart and walk in the light each day, and let me tell you, it's a pain in the butt. It's not easy. I'm lovecasting live from the Sirius Joy Garden Studios in Costa Mesa, California on Wednesday, May 6, 2015. And today we're pretty much in a two-part day. I'm going to start reporting on 2 steps per day now. As we start the day, and for most of the day on the East Coast, step 15 rules the day. So that grace, that smooth peace that started to come into our life last night should be how you start the day today. And if you want to understand how to step into the step 15 vibration, watch yesterday's Namaste Today. So today we're in step 15 for most of the day, which means we're mindful of our heart, and we are receiving what we need to receive. Those might be material goods, it may be sleep, it may be nutrition, it may be time with our honey. Whatever you need to receive, you are receiving. And once your well is filled and you're feeling pretty good, probably around 4:45 p.m. Eastern Time, step 16 will rule the day. At that point, we open up permanently to that receiving. We just completely kind of dilate our soul, kind of dilate our crown chakra, and we just open up. And in that, we are able to listen. This adds to a step 7, and I'll talk about this in the architecture of incarnation. But in essence, in the next 24 hours, it's the spiritual 24 hours. And it's one of the important times to check in with God consciousness, to check in with your higher self, and make sure that what you are light casting is what your heart really wants, it's what your soul really signed up for, and there's no warnings from higher self that we're on the wrong path. But before we talk about how to log into God consciousness and ask those questions, let's first prepare by taming our brain with the phrase of today. I am open and listening to my heart today, and I am open to my higher senses. I am open and listening to my heart today, and I am open to my higher senses. In essence, you want to, put each point in the Gemini. That's why we have 2 parts of our affirmation, one for each side of the brain. On one side, we're saying, hey, I'm open and listening to my heart. And we want to be mindful of the heart. And if you want to just make sure you never mismanifest something you don't want, always be mindful of the heart. Your heart will not call into existence something it doesn't want. Okay? So by being mindful of our heart, we kind of automate that we get what we want, whether we're trying or not, because we're mindful of our heart. So I'm open and listening to my heart. And listening is the key word, because the heart will speak very softly about things. And I'm open to my higher senses, which is your gut, that sense of something watching you, that 7th sense. We want to listen to that too. So we want to have basically our hands on both of those consciousnesses today. So let's say it one more time to keep it in the mind. I am open and listening to my heart today, and I am open to my higher senses. And so it is, because I said so. I thought so. Now, the ruling step I'm going to report on in the second half of the day is step 16. This comes down to what I love, step 1, plus receiving, step 6, comes to spirit, 7. So when we listen, step 6, to our heart, 1, we add up to God. When you listen to your heart, you get God consciousness. This is how the step astrology all adds up. Now, a 7 is really Neptune, and it's really Pisces. And I'll talk about in the cosmic clock where Neptune is today. But in essence, we're logging into our Neptune by allowing all of our open Libra energy to happen. Now, looking at the architecture of incarnation, as you can see, step 6 is critical in many of the important moments as we're building what we are manifesting. First of all, when we wake up in the consciousness, step 6 awakens us. So this is a very Venus in the first dimension. We just open up to receiving, and this is really us kind of surveying the land to see what's possible in the first place. Then, this is where we are in the second dimension, which is what we're about to embody. We open up to our giving and receiving so that we can hear God as we're in the middle of production, basically. So the second dimension is where all the production is. This is where I focused all my life. I'm a step 18. This is proficiency. To me, this is where it's just right, like the little bear who had it just right. You know what I mean? But in this area, this is the key. Is like, have you been built on the right foundation? Are you heading in the right direction? And what does that come down to? It comes down to the 6. Is there easy flow going on, whatever it is in the area you're trying to manifest? If you are held up, if the 6 is held up, that alone will keep you from listening to those little nuances. So it's kind of a guarantee. If you can't listen now, if you can't hear God now, something is not correct. Okay, you're either not open to the flow or you're not listening to God when you are open to the flow. Each need to happen if you want to master this. Now, in the third dimension, which we'll talk about, basically we commit based on our ability to receive. So there the 6 is fundamental to the decision and the commitment. So you can see how important 6 is. We don't commit in the master degrees unless it's easy flow and go. All right? So let's look at how this builds up in our spiritual spinning of our colorful chakras.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Looking at the ruling colors and chakras, you know, I bring color up because it is so primary to reality. In fact, in personal readings, when a client has lost their way, one of the first things I ask them is, what's your favorite color? Because your favorite color and your favorites of the primaries and how you associate with the primaries adds up to all the 256 trillion colors of reality, if not more. And if you know your relationship to the primaries and the secondaries, frankly, right, the basic 8 Crayolas, right, then you will understand how you relate to these parts of your consciousness. They do connect because we're talking about the association of awareness, all right? Now we are in orange. That is Taurus. So by association, yes, you can eat an orange and increase your manifestation because orange is orange. It all associates. You can smell from an aromatherapy perspective orange and it will wake up your ability to manifest because it is all connected in the collective conscious. This is how it works. So we are working on the orange today, which as you know is a blend of red and yellow, and orange is what will bring in our manifestations. Now today we add on blue. Blue, which is our throat chakra, and that is the 6, Libra, I receive. And so we are able to receive literally food and everything else through the throat, right? So today you are receiving or not receiving, right? And that love and trust plus the receiving adds to a 7. And 7 is, of course, our crown. So by knowing how we receive and what's easy to receive, our crown knows if we are aligned or not. From heaven to earth, is there alignment or not? And when you listen to your higher self and you open up that crown and kind of bed your head down to open it, that's what we do in prayer. We look at our heart and we listen in our crown. When we look at our heart and listen in our crown, you will hear, no, don't do that, or no problem, go for it. That's what I usually find. So let's look at the timing now with the cosmic clock. And here we are with today's cosmic clock. Well, by the second half of the day, the sun will progress to step 16, Taurus. Step 16 is when we love and trust and open to receive, and we end up hearing our spirit and what our spirit has to say. So today is about listening to spirit. And speaking of listening, that begs the question, where is our mind today? Well, Mercury is at step 7. Isn't that just beautiful, how our mind is in perfect harmony with where our heart is? So today, step 7, Gemini, which means our intellect is indeed open to listen. That is, if we shut up and we listen. And by shutting up, it just means you simply don't talk. You know, like, don't have a dialogue. Sit there and see what comes and see if anything just happens to pop into the pond, so to speak. Now, Venus herself is at step 28. And step 28, Gemini, would be, I feel committed to this channel, right? I feel committed, 8, to manifesting. And that's manifesting based on what? The information in Gemini. That's where Venus is in Gemini. So based on the information in Gemini, we're committed to manifesting. And that's where our openness is. So nice. Then Mars himself is at step 26. And this is basically, Mars is feeling, step 2, where we can receive, step 6. And that leads to a commitment. So our male ego energy is ready to commit. Commit to the high vibration of Taurus. Commit to the high big picture of it all. So as we are listening for any warnings with God, we're committing at this time the actions we're going to intend to take. We're getting ready, getting set to go. Now the moon is in Sagittarius and adding fire to the whole day, and I do mean fire. It is triggering a soul pyramid in fire, a grand trine in fire. We've left the moon crossing Saturn yesterday where we had to emotionally grow up, and now that we're in free, uncharted, unlimited possibility, which is how I would describe Sagittarius energy, like, whee, anything can happen. You know, like that's how you feel inside with Sagittarius. It's very adventurous. When you feel that, it opens up in grand trines, which means hard wires into two other parts or two other states of our awareness. On the one hand is Uranus at step 18. That means Uranus is in the house of Aries, so it's basically working on our ego consciousness, the new us. And so when it comes to the new us, Uranus is saying, hey, I'm ready to love, trust, and I've decided who I am and decided who I am not, and I'm going to act on that. 9. Notice the 9s here, lots of 9s. So we are deciding who we are, who we're not in this moment. Of course we are, with us manifesting a life. There's a commitment and a decision to who we are, and this is the highest our character has been in this lifetime. You have not gone through a Uranus transit in Aries if you are alive, okay? It has not happened by the huge transit of over 80 years it takes. So we are making that decision. Then Jupiter at step 13, which basically means I will innovate, and I will innovate my heart. Jupiter's in Leo, which is I love. So I will innovate my heart when I follow my beliefs, 13, the 3. So by following your beliefs, you will innovate your heart. And so what happens is this grand trine and fire gets us very excited. In very simple, plain English terms, it's like, wow, unlimited possibilities. I'm totally a new me. I'm a new boy or I'm a new girl. You know what I mean? And I'm excited because my life is innovating. It's changing. It's going according to my heart's plans. Now, if you are feeling the opposite, like, oh God, I'm in horrible despair, you know, nothing can change in my life, and you're bringing it all together in a horrible sorrow, well, you've actually got it right there. You just need to flip it upside down and make it positive. You're getting it. You're just getting it pointing towards hell. And you're going to point towards your heart, point towards heaven. So point towards what your heart wants, not what your heart sees. That's very important. So looking at the Tower of Truth. First, I want to show off Pisces, because Pisces energy is super important right now in the sense of letting things flow and letting things go, letting things heal. Each of us are healing in the Pisces energy. Now, Chiron is at step 20. That's the actual healing planet, the ruler of Virgo consciousness, or I become. So we are all becoming right now, step 20 in Chiron, we are all becoming our passionate, healed feelings. So we're all becoming a healed version of our passion, step 20. But then here lower is Neptune. Neptune at step 9, which is saying at the bottom of this self-compassion, you want to act on what you know spiritually. So we're pointing to a 7, we're listening to God, and this is what God is saying. You want to heal your high vibration feelings, and you also want to act on your base spiritual knowledge. Now, the spiritual step differential of this is 11. 11 is Chiron. So these two are working in absolute amazing harmony, which means we are healing if we do everything correctly, and it means we need to have faith and go with the flow. It's all being taken care of. Then looking at Mars at step 26 here, in the Tower of Truth of Taurus, Mars in the high vibration is, like I said, our ego, which is saying, hey, I will commit when I feel it a 2, and when it's open to giving and receiving a 6, I will 8 commit. So we are ready to commit our ego, which is all of our resources and our pushiness, to this high vibration today. And the Sun is at step 16, which means there is another step differential of 10. These two have been working in a perfect 10 differential so far for the last few days in step 10 of Taurus. And I find that harmony of symphony of numbers just absolutely beautiful. So now let's move on to today's joy quest and boil it all down. Your joy quest, should you choose to accept it, is go with the flow. Literally. And there's something to be said about that. I mean, I know that's an old expression, go with the flow. But as you can see in the architecture of incarnation, that 6, the easy going and flowing of something, is extremely important. In fact, as you could see, it is when we commit, it is when we hear God, it is when we know if we're in the right place. So you want to go with the flow today. And in practical terms, that means if you're driving down the street and the freeway is open, go with the flow, go on the freeway. If you have 2 options, to wait in the bank line or to go get lunch early, go get lunch early. All right? Motion, step 9, is a big part of manifestation. And I have found that I am most psychic when I am doing something, when I am in motion. So when I am in flow, and I'm going with the flow of things, whether I'm dancing or I'm, just in the flow of like routine stuff, like in my shower where I'm in a routine and it's just this flow. Whenever I'm in this flow, this is in fact when I hear the most stuff. And it makes sense. I mean, the truth is the universe is in constant motion. The earth is swinging around the sun is swinging around another sun. Those are swinging around things. And the universe is expanding, and it's expanding at an ever-expanding rate. So when you stop and you're not in motion, when you don't go with the flow, when you choose a path that is stopped, that could be probably the real definition of evil. Because the only thing that's backwards to life is not moving, not motion, which explains a lot of the ADD, right? A lot of stuff going on where people are being pushed to sit in a desk and not move, and we wonder why they can't study. So today, go with the flow, literally, my friend. Now, if you're watched over in my personal Sensei network, I'm going to help you today at 9:09. We're going to talk about that Mars placement, and I'm going to help you commit to where you need to flow. So I'll tell you where you need to commit to the flow today in your life to make sure you don't miss that point. At 11:11 a.m., I'm going to talk about the Moon in Sag situation for you and talk about where your passion should be steering the ship. So how that grand trine should be steered and where in your life that is. Then at 3:03 p.m., I'm going to talk about where love needs to be opened up so you can kind of get awareness around that Jupiter. So basically today's Sensei service is highlighting the grand trine. Now, if you'd like to be involved in my personal Sensei service, come on down to SiriusJoy.me. I'll be with you 5 to 7 times a day, all based on your natal birth chart and all inspiring, telling you to keep moving on and don't worry. I always warn you, or I always tell you when the next piece of candy is around the corner, so it's a good service. People love it. Now, moving on to today's telepathy from my temple to yours, we are looking at famous Taurus personalities because we're in the sun of Taurus. It's my birthday. Not yet, 3 days away. We'll talk about that here in the next couple shows. But today I thought it would be really kind of interesting, and you'll notice this is very true. In a way, I guess this would be my category in the future. All right? Are you with me? So it is Taurus media household fixtures. Media household fixtures. So a media household fixture is someone that's in the media house all the time in your house. You rely on in your house. Like Brian Williams is a media household fixture of the news. He's a Taurus, for instance. So these are older media household fixtures, and I'm thinking of one of these today, which was in my life growing up. Is it number 1, radio personality Casey Kasem? You guys remember Casey Kasem? Number 2, actress Ann B. Davis, all right? Or number 3, medical advice man, Dr. Spock. So are we talking Casey Kasem, Ann B. Davis, or Dr. Spock? I'll have the answer to my telepathy to you right after this. Introducing Secrets of Birthdays. Bow chicka bow wow. Are you ready to find love? Bow chicka bow wow. Your secrets are coming out. Bow chicka bow wow. All those sexy secrets are available at secretsofbirthdays.com. Bow chicka bow wow, baby. Soul Garden. And welcome back to Namaste Today. So for the answer to today's telepathy from my temple to yours, I'm beaming you a Taurus media household figure. All right, someone of the household figure of the media household. And was I talking about radio personality Casey Kasem, who did Top 40 every week on Sundays, if you don't know. Used to be on my jam box and recording on my cassette tapes. Yes, sir. Or was it number 2, actress Ann B. Davis, who is Alice, if you don't know, from the Brady Bunch. Or 3, medical advice man, Dr. Spock. And the answer is number 2, Ann B. Davis. I think I might kind of hid that by accident, but of course, Alice, right? I mean, of the whole Brady Bunch, I mean, I think Alice was the most interesting enigma, and her, relationship with the butcher, you know what I mean? And, she lived behind the kitchen, but we never saw that spooky room. It was a weird thing, and she was, of course, in uniform. And I was thinking today before the show, I'm like, if there was a Brady Bunch now, the only one crazy enough to adopt 6 kids now would be a gay couple, right? You know what I mean? Like, it'd be a gay Brady Bunch, and of course, not to stereotype, but there's no way it would be a white middle-aged woman, right? We know what it would be. I'm not even going to say. I'll send some telepathy for that one, just so I'm not discriminating against anyone. So let's move on to today's rock and roll gospel. And I'm going to move on with some cool Taurus musicians. And we talk about this theme as far as Tauruses having this ability to create a world with their art. They create this world that you step into and enjoy for a minute or 2 or 7 or whatever. And this musician was quite good at creating musical worlds. I'm speaking to Roy Orbison. He was a Taurus, born April 23rd, 1936, and was a step 3, opened up worlds. all right? And he still is. I say is a Taurus and still is on the planet because I think when you're a musician, your music lives forever and so do you. And this song I'm choosing today is really quite, I think, perfect for the vibration of step 16. Because, you know, step 16, that 6, is all about Libra and all about beauty. And when we're in our flow, we're in our beauty. So I chose for today's Rock and Roll Gospel, Pretty Woman. I think it's an awesome song, you know, and of course, Julia Roberts is highly associated with that due to one film that girls seem to love. But before that film, the song was awesome in itself, which maybe inspired that film. That feeling of when you see a beautiful woman walk down the street. I think Roy creates that vibration, and I thank him for being an amazing artist and contributing as a fellow bad Astro Taurus, right? But before you rock and roll gospel with Roy, let's take a look at the moods of each of your brothers and sisters today, and an especial soul vitamin. And by soul vitamin, I think you want to take this 3 times a day. So remember this 3 times a day to align your grand trine. And that's what the soul vitamin is about. How to align the grand trine in the trinection. That's what I call it. Not a connection with 2. This is a trinection. So honing in the trinection in the 11 steps of Sirius Joy, beginning with the secret step, step 0s, the Scorpios. Scorpio, sunny and productive today, but in order to pull in that trinection, focus on feeling your valuable future. So focus on feeling your valuable future. Step 1, the Leos, sunny and quiet childlike today, but to bring in your trinection, you want to feel yourself as a loving celebrity. A loving celebrity. Step 2, the Cancers, sunny and hyper aware of their reality today. But as far as your trinection is concerned, you want to feel your sharp increases, step by step by step. Mostly your increase in money, but everything increasing, everything growing, which what Cancers are good at monitoring. By the way, I'm sorry for yesterday. Step 3, the Sagittarius is sunny and way cool with this grand trine in their sign. But they are feeling very charismatic, and you should focus on feeling the charismatic mission ahead. So focus on feeling your charismatic mission ahead. So it's a mission where you're going to be quite charming, basically. Step 4, the Aquarians, sunny and social today. But to pull in your trinection, you should feel your social partnerships coming together. So the team is coming together. Step 5, the Geminis, sunny and very sentimental. And you too, I think, to pull in your trinection, you are feeling the world connection now. From your perspective, is your world connection coming together. And step 6, the Librans, sunny and chatty today. And in your trinection, you're feeling your world authority. So notice all the air signs are feeling world things, and they're all 4, 5, and 6. It's air sign, air sign, air sign, step 4, step 5, step 6. Interesting, eh? Step 7, the Pisces, sunny and professional today. And you, to pull in your trinection, should feel your career path ahead. So feel the path that's unfolding before you. Step 8, the Capricorns, sunny and quite faithful today, which is good because you are feeling your new special mission. The mission that you've been given by God, basically. I think that's what you're feeling with this moon high up in the 12th. Step 9, the Aries, sunny and passionate, feeling a trinection of life's calling right now. So feeling life's calling and where you are called to service. Step 10, the birthday Tauruses, sunny with chance of handy today. But they are feeling damn fertile. So focus on how you feel fertile. That'll pull in your trinection. And then step 11's the Virgos. Sunny, nesting, and rested today. I think you are feeling rested. But it's now time to pull in your trinection by feeling planted and faithful at the same time. So basically fertile in your own way. Alright, thank you so much for that. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe. We thank you ahead of time. Helps us with our relationship with them. And on YouTube, you can be our friend by navigating to soulgarden.me. And right now, there's a couple of great specials. I have, first of all, a birthday reading sale, which will go away in about a week. So if this is what you want, right now, if you buy a 1-hour reading, you'll get a 30-minute free follow-up you can use up through the summer. This is a great slam dunk to really get into an issue and manifest out. Details are at soulmart.me. And don't forget, the Sirius Joy Personal Sensei service is getting better and better. I'm with you all day long. I think that joy is a full-time job. Let me do it for you. I'll remind you 5 to 7 times a day. Come to SiriusJoy.me for more details on that. And I want to thank you and give you my gratitude as always. Thank you so much for logging in, showing up with me, sending me gifts, sending me gratitude. I really appreciate it. I love you too. I'll see you in 24 hours with more. Until then, live, love, be. This is just so ironic.